Hi everyone, it's Sunday, July 2nd, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. So before we get started, let me just say coming week will be a very short one in the US because Tuesday is the July 4th holiday. So we will not be publishing the Tuesday International Report or the Daily Report for the US. Looking at the market last week in the U.S., it was slow and prices were mainly steady again, although some packers reported prices that were 50 cents to $1 higher. Now that said, the biggest customer, which is China, pulled back from purchasing this week, and buyers said that was because of the worsening exchange rate for the RMB against the dollar. Looking at heavy Texas steers, prices were steady at a high of $25 for selections averaging 60 to 64 pounds. In the cow sector, demand is still in a slump, but branded cows did manage to bring prices up by 50%. 50 cents, not 50%. Combined export sales for the week ending June 22nd were 533,700, and that's 7% lower than last week. Combined shipments also dropped this week, this time by 11% to 468,600. Estimated slaughter in the U.S. for the week ending July 1st was 644,000, and that's just 5,000 head less than last week. Turning to Europe, editor Andrea Guolo reports that there's a standoff because slaughterhouses don't want to reduce their prices, but tanneries won't move from their current levels, and they'll only buy if it's cheaper. Main thing is that prospects for September are no better at this point. In the UK and Ireland, prices are on a downward trajectory, and the 36 plus kilo British ox dropped to 70 cents sterling per kilo, and in Ireland the price is 75 cents in euros per kilo. While the first half of July is set for these levels, there could be more changes in the last 2 weeks of the month. The situation for European bulls is pretty much the same this week. However, some sales were done at lower prices, and the price for North German bulls at 40 to 49 kilos is 95 cents to €1.05 per kilo. As for Southern German hides, prices for the heaviest selection were a little softer this week. With regard to the European cow market, there is widespread weakness. And for veal skins, sales are underway for September and prices are stable. In his analysis this week, Andrea looks at the price differences in some hide categories and what's likely to come in the next couple of weeks. He also summarizes the Italian tannery statistics that UNICH presented for 2022. From South America, editor Ronald Guiel tells us that fresh hide prices have resumed their downward march, dropping 5 cents to sell at $1.02 per kilo. The reference price of TR1 remains steady at 66 cents per square foot. Most other Latin origins were again stable, but Argentina saw some slight changes. In other news from Brazil, JBS is taking 1,500 employees from Brazil to work in Australia. And in May, Brazilian exports of chemicals and components totaled $163 million. From elsewhere in Latin America, Argentina's government is extending the Ahora 12 program for shoppers in the country to stimulate consumption. In Colombia, IFLS took place in Bogota, June 27th through 30th. And in Uruguay, the water crisis has shut Frigorifico Canelones. That is all we have for this week, and until next week, good night from HideNet.